archers on this map either, but I say it all the time, I think it's the most treacherous map. It will be Faze starting on that CT side and Aurora on the T side. And look at the utility, also where they're running, but that's classic utility for just a heavy A execute where you throw smokes to the high ground, you Molotov out the camp position, or you Molotov out the plateau, depending on what you're feeling. But either way, it does look like the Turkish side is ready to go for that A site.
Yeah, this is looking very nice, looking to be for the gaps, but it's by design with that deep position indeed from Frozen. It really shows that Faze are kind of ready for anything here, and they're happy to play retake, maybe get a bit of damage on the way in for Aurora as they set this one up. There they go, into the site. Any initial damage, couple headshots attempted, but they're gonna have to fall away. And it's Woxic taking down a leash. That's actually devastating for Faze.
That smoke on the high ground was so late, but it doesn't matter. Centaurus has shown up, and he gets a couple of good kills. Kerrigan taken down even through the smoke. Bizarrely Frozen. He was really, just a scout outside of the B bomb site. And I think the plan for Faze, like you said, is actually not that bad. Just try and get a couple of kills before they get in. Let them have the bomb if they want to, who cares? But just get 1 or 2, and then your retake is a lot easier. But none of that really materialized. And that's in spite of the fact, like I said, for the T side there, that smoke on the high ground was very, very delayed. There was an opportunity for Faze to hit some shots. They just didn't. So I think Aurora, they're an interesting team. Like, I actually think, like, at the start of the year, I said they were going to win the major, so I guess I just have to hold on to that, even though I think since then my confidence has dwindled a bit, because I feel like in high-level games, they tend to fall a bit under the pressure. I also feel like Centaurus, even though he's an amazing player, there are definitely times where he doesn't quite show up to the level that you would want. So, but yes, I do think this team is really, really strong. And in a best of 1, though, again, it's anybody's guess how this is going to be playing out. But the fact that they win the pistol is already a good sign, and Faze are going to be under some pressure to try and get into the game early. They will buy up into this round.
There's a tester, that jump peek from Frozen outside B. Very defensive arrangements from Aurora. A topography, if you will.
Wow. Those are big words, Dan. I'm from Denmark. I don't know what you're saying. It's too much for me. But it sounds nice. Okay, simple. Gets a kill there. Zentara is going to be overwhelmed. Very important for Jota to be able to turn it around here and make sure that, more than anything, obviously they don't lose around, but also don't let him get the AKs here. So, kind of a hard-fought battle, honestly, for Faze. That could have absolutely worked out. Frozen, though, the bomb is headed the other way, so he's going to be quite far away from the action. Might just leave Jota in the middle to hold on to the AKs again. It's kind of important. I'm sure Bacardi will probably join him once the bomb is planted. Yeah, they're just clearing this out, but I think holding onto the rifles is probably the primary thing at this stage.
Yeah, we'll see if Frozen can get anything at all here. Looking to do some damage, but getting up against the MAC-10, not the most ideal scenarios. If you're going to isolate a player here, there's a nice shot onto Icardia. Makes it 1v2, and he's very close here. Absolutely going for this one. Frozen is he able to give anything here to Faze early on. Slowed down by the Molotov is quite annoying. All this util just slowly getting layered and dumped onto him as he finally gets his way onto the site. Nice clean shot onto Jota. Closes the distance, knows precisely where Magic is. And Frozen, a clinical 1v3 clutch that never seemed to be in doubt. Faze, they win a surprising round.
I mean, I'm shocked beyond belief. Okay, this isn't obviously the Falcons 5v3, but this is not a round you're ever supposed to be even close to losing. He's got no kit. Even at this stage, fine, he gets the first one, that's great, but what's the pressure in fighting him at all right now? You know eventually he has to go and try and tap that bomb. Yeah, that is my question. I obviously typically can't say those words exactly, Frozen, so thank you for shit. That's exactly what I was thinking. What the fuck are they doing?
Well, 1-1, and Faze looking like they're in a really good spot here. However, danger does loom. We've got 4 MAC-10s. 4 MAC-10s here on deck for Aurora, so they're looking to shove it in somewhere very quickly, and it might be unrelenting, the pace. So Faze have to be careful not to get overwhelmed on their relative positions. And the A site feels like it could be at the most danger here, Anders.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very speedy, right? So we'll see if they can just power on through. It's just a question of, getting the first couple of jumps in with the MAC-10. I'm sure the first guy will be flying in, and then the rest are going to just try and swing wide to take the shots. It can absolutely work. Smoke up here, which is very nice. Simple. Going to get put away on this one, so tries to get the timing here. Elige caught in a very awkward position, and it works so well. Just caught trying to get the jump up there, and Rain also got devastated by the Galil on the other side. So 3v5. Even though look at how much damage has been dished out here to Aurora, it doesn't make a difference. You're saving this 100% of the time on Faze, so no crazy retakes happening. What a shame for Faze, because
so close to just, at least if they get like 2 kills.
Yeah,
which they're so close to doing. It's so doable for the retake, but
they should have lost that last round. I stand on that ground. Frozen should have never been close to winning that clutch. The fact that they win it and then give it up now is kind of heartbreaking.
Well, I'm going to give everyone who is a FaZe fan a little cope to work off up.
Okay, go on.
If FaZe are in a difficult position. So Aurora have had a lot of trouble on Anubis. The last 5 Anubises that they have played, there's been a lot of drama. They're either just total losses, they have a close overtime victory against the Mongols, but otherwise, the last 4 or 5 times Aurora have played Anubis, they have been on the losing end of it, and this is against teams like Heroic, teams like Furia. You know, so these are not necessarily teams that you're saying, oh well, they're losing to like the super top echelon of teams.
That's fair.
So there's some cope for you there, Anders. If you're a FaZe fan and you're in doubt.
I'm in the market for a little bit of copium. I would love FaZe to show more strength here in the third stage of the major. Obviously, just insane bias for the fact that Simple is back and playing. I can't express like my joy of that.
Yes.
Counter-Strike does not feel the same without him, and yeah, I mean that's just how it is. Round number 4. And they do save some rifles on the CT side, but no doubt it's going to be another tricky round here. Rain playing in front. If they grenade this, he's just going to push in front of it. He will anyway, flashing and molotoving their way in, but there's such a setup out there with the entire Turkish side just ready and waiting. I do like the sandwich on the other side. It's so much damage again. Simple shows up now in the 1v1, but Centaurus will find the headshot and just barely holds on to the round. That was such a great crunch coming in from FaZe. It's a great idea.
So close, but so far, sadly. Simple right at the end there. That's always such a hard position. As Simple's in, you get all of those kills, you get into the 1v1, but now your position is known. Now the opponent has... Oh my god, yeah. Of course, it is Antares after all. The jiggle, just a one tap. Imagine pumping up the soldiers for Aurora. We have a B stack on our hands from FaZe. And I know one criticism of FaZe in the previous stage was not bringing Simple onto the AWP near enough. We'll see if that's anything that changes into this stage, but...
We've got USPs and some quick boots on as well. Trying to see if they can run out here. Rain with a little bit of a dink. It's Simple getting a headshot, so at least getting a deal shot. Not really a headshot, but onto Jota. That's about it. They chip away a little bit of the money, but it's not really significant, I think, for Aurora, who, again, are enjoying the start here. It's been some expensive rounds for them. I guess that's the context that you could put into this, is that FaZe kind of know they are, keeping the economy as low as they can really on the T side, but still winning CT rounds. I'm a bit of a broken record on this point.
Yeah.
But it is just really hard to do.
Yeah, but you're totally right. The money is getting worn a bit for Aurora. Still more work needs to be done there, though. And no AWP yet for Simple. I'll have to keep your eyes on that.
So FaZe actually the ones to set up that smoke towards the stairs. That's become so common. For Aurora, it's a giant indication that they're going to be playing pretty much what FaZe is right now with 3B, 1 mid, 1A. When Aurora do it, the correlation between that smoke and them playing this setup is enormous, like 85% plus at the time, especially if they got the AWP and Woxic. They tend to play, down in that connector quite a bit. So just cool to see FaZe also throwing that same grenade.
Now Aurora going into the next stage of the defaults, trying to take these doors. The Ankh printed on them.
True. You're into some Egyptian mythology.
Why not? Get in. I mean, it's called Anubis after all, so we got to get in on. However, Xantares now breaching this forward position is now threatening this, but there's a potential push here off the block flash. In they go, but right around the corner is Xantares, the turret, but the turret has been dismantled there. Simple takes him out, and now it's very hard for Jota to push forwards. He's got players on 2 angles. He uses the smoke to deal with it. A preemptive peek, but the punish from Jota is sublime, and with that, Now, you've already got his teammates that are rotating back off the A site, and that is adding insult to injury now. Rain and Carrigan, the last players left here for FaZe to try to offer a defense, but they're not even sure where Aurora is going.
Yeah, Carrigan was sticking around for B for a really, really long time. Had to go back and check middle. Pretty good spray down, actually. Jots has finally gone down. And you know what? That actually does buy an opportunity for a retake. 2v2 right now. Bomb going to be planted. There's no helmet on anyone, so, well, it doesn't matter. He's going to pick up the AK instead there, Magio. But I was going to say, even the MAC-10 might have been almost a more dangerous weapon in some sense. So Arcadia finding a free kill onto Rain. He was not ready for that angle whatsoever. So it's on Carrigan, alone versus 2, and they find such great timing. How is he supposed to win that battle when they're both peeking him at the same time? So nice conversion. They keep it going. It's a good lead that is building at the moment here. And again, FaZe dropping low on the money. They're going to call a timeout to get Neo activated.
Yeah, we'll see what they have in store. Again, I think, you know, as a point that has been made many times on this map, probably 95% of the time has been made by you, Anders, is that
I do.
You only need a couple of rounds really. Well, a couple in addition to what FaZe have to have what feels or can feel like a competitive CT side on this map. So again, you know, adding to the barrel of cope that we're slowly filling up here for any dissatisfied FaZe fans.
Feed it to me, Dan. I do need more cope at this stage because they are starting to drop a little bit behind. But yeah, good to get Neo activated. Obviously now for maybe a new generation of players known as the coach of FaZe. But for everybody else, in case you are new to the game, you don't know, at least for my money, Neo was the best Counter-Strike 1.6 player of all time. If you combine everyone together, I personally probably put Neo on top. So to call him a legend is almost, you know, short-selling him. 5-1. Bit of a shot ringing out here. Woxic not finding the opening. And with just pistols on this CT side, it's tough to make this work. I do like the fact that FaZe called the timeout not into like a buy round, but to set up a later round, which is, I think, in modern day Counter-Strike typically how it's done anyway. But it just means Aurora won't be able to immediately react and say, "Oh, you're out of a timeout. You're probably trying some crazy setup." Like it's delayed a little bit.
And Rain with the 5-7. We've seen 5-7 do work, but not this time. Gets this mantle. And the sprays continue. Frozen will peel off one player, but it's unfortunately the lost sight and the bomb to go down. That is a reality for FaZe as they try to do what they can with these pistols, but it's so damn difficult.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm curious, because you mentioned this, the idea of Simple not having the AWP a lot. I'm curious if they can start to pick it up at some point here, because there's another thing for you guys at home to kind of play, like a little mini game you can play. Try and watch for whether or not Elige smokes middle and whether or not he throws the smoke shallow or deep. If he throws it deep towards the towards that T side, basically, it's very likely that he is going to stick around in the middle. But sometimes when they throw that shallow smoke, it basically means that they've almost given up the middle and they're falling back into you know, a further position. If they throw no smoke but throw Molotovs instead, very often a sign that there's going to be an AWP with Elige in the middle. And it's a big tell for a lot of teams right now that, you know, how they do it. So just, you know, watch the minimap, see how the grenades land and how deep or not they are.
Is that a drinking game you're suggesting, Anders?
It could be. It could be. Just
one finger's for the shallow smoke, 2 fingers for the
something like that, you know.
There you go.
It's also the problem is also if you throw the shallow smoke, it's so much easier to throw that if you're far back in middle. Like if you're playing the camp position, throwing the shallow smoke in mid is so easy, but throwing a deeper one doesn't make a lot of sense anyway.
Well, Simple is on the AWP now, and he's going into that E-box position, and this is where we do see CT AWPs do a lot of work. But there we go, Magic goes down. A second connection onto Woxic, and Simple has announced his presence on the server on Anubis, and it's an early 5v3 now for FaZe.
Yeah, and they had that deep smoke. This is the deeper smoke that I'm talking about, and Alicia's sticking around, and Simple is elsewhere. It all lines up pretty well. That utility is very often for all teams right now, pretty big indication of what's happening. 6-1, and we're moving into round number 8 here. It's not too late for FaZe at all, and it's not just copium. If they can win this round and keep it going, they've already kept the T-side economy, maybe not low. Magic does have 8,000, but still, it's within striking distance here. They can win a couple of rounds, FaZe, and then they have a bit of an easier time of it. Gotta win this one first, though. 5 versus 3. And this B-bomb site is annoyingly hard to hold, even when you got 2 people here.
Yeah, we'll see what is possible, because it's a 2-1-2 setup, so this could live and die this round by this hold. That is so close. That is the haircut from Xantares, but he wants the entire head, and that's exactly what he's going to get. And suddenly, they are locked out. Faze, how do they get back into the site? The bomb is now planted, and I mean, if they were to lose all their weaponry in this retake, it would be tragic, but they also have to go for it.
I think so. You feel like there's no choice. Like, you're going to try and run for this one. 3v3. No kit picked up at the moment. A flash around the corner, and Xantares just ice cold here. Little side step taking down Rain. Simple still pretty far away with that AWP. Elise trying to navigate it, but Xantares hits one more headshot, and he's just completely pushed him out of the round.
He's 14-2, Anders.
This is why they call him the Turkish Terminator. And now he's coming for Simple. Why not try and see if you can hunt him down at this stage? Seeing if he can close the distance, but yeah. This is the power of having somebody like Xantares on your team. When he doesn't show up, it's so disappointing. But when he does, this is exactly what should happen.
And I got to say, that has been an enormous question mark for Aurora. They've been somewhat all over the place based on the ceiling that we understand that they have.
Yeah.
And it is often defined by how Xantares is playing, because his ceiling is so unbelievably high. And we're seeing a crazy performance right now. Unfortunately, for FaZe in their first match in this stage, they're having to play up against it. And despite those two opening AWP picks, you know, FaZe was shown that, hey, you can't just play a 2-1-2 setup after that on any other map. That's perfectly fine, pretty much, any other map. But Anubis, like you said, the B side is just horrendously hard to hold. It's just so hard. Even with, you know, 2v3 there, it just gets converted into a round win.
Unfortunately, a bit of a classic situation, right? And you can also, I think you can tell if you go back and watch that early setup with two people on the B bomb side, they can't really play together easily. There's like one's jiggling for information. You can see there's no you can't like retake that fight. You're not going to be swinging in and trading those kills. You're just fighting alone in a really awkward position. So, great work. Madja is smiling. If ever there was a veteran player, it'd probably be Madja. He's been playing for such a long time. 7-1.
That was such a good opportunity for FaZe to get the 1 or 2 that they need to give that breathing room to just kind of give a lot of relief to the team. But
oh yeah,
I think something else that you said to me off camera was the fact that one of the things that FaZe are known for is they get there oftentimes historically, but there is always a struggle.
Yes, that is in fact part of their brand in some sense. Now, I don't know if that's still going to be true with this current roster, but obviously, if you go back, that's the thing that they would do. Fall far behind and then make absolutely epic comebacks, which is, I think, one of the reasons why it's just so much fun to be a FaZe fan, and painful. 7-1. Round number 9. Unfortunately, we're getting close to the stage where FaZe need maybe a miracle or two here. They've got the AWP on Simple, and he's hanging around in that A bomb site, which is fine, because it looks like there's going to be an A split, but it still will be very hard to do this.
The bomb is on this side, though, Anders. This could be huge.
They're going for it, like Aurora definitely are, and there's a push coming in from the other side, too. So again, a bit of a crunch, trying to set it up here. Madja, not quite getting the spray down. He's going to be good for the one, but the trade is in. Another bomb is isolated. So Akadi with 30 seconds, but that's the bomb up there. How does he get it to a site?
It's up to Simple's decision-making here. He's got to have good timing, and that's a good connection. Doesn't get the kill, though, but at least understands what he has to do, and he does it. Takes down Jota. And now, what is the response? 15 seconds, and the bomb is going away from the A side. It's making a mad dash to the B, but there's 2 players here. Karrigan and Frozen ready to stop this bomb from going down. It has to be planted immediately. It'll make it around the corner. The bomb will be planted here.
Oh, no. Karrigan played it so well. He showed himself to set up Frozen. He was expecting the plant on the default, but instead they jump into that little cubby, and now Karrigan goes down. Simple. He has to run away for it. Oh, it was such a great mind game for Karrigan. There's a big question in that double setup with Frozen and Karrigan. Who's the first person to show on that CT side? And I think Karrigan is exactly right. If he shows himself, then chances are they just run and plant for the obelisk, and they don't try and hide it even any further. Fortunately, here, Simple going to get hunted down as well. The
don't do it. Don't knife him. Don't knife him. No, don't do it to him.
Do it,
Not Simple. Anders, that's illegal.
Yeah, I can't believe it. That's 2 rounds, Dan. 2 rounds where they've had the openings. The other one was the double kill for Simple in middle, and this one, they isolate the bomb, and it's so winnable. There's no time left at all.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It is so heartbreaking, especially for Simple. You know, he's in this position with the AWP where, you know, with the AWP, the big question is, are you going to get the value for your team with that weapon? And Simple's doing everything asked of him at the moment. Oh, very aggressive push here from Frozen around the side of the smoke. This is a really nice position for Frozen. Did they expect it, though?
Well, there's already been a lot of aggression behind this kind of a smoke, and the fact that it's re-smoked again, I think it probably is a bit suspicious to them. Grenades set up, but they're boosted over that smoke to look for any kind of CT aggression out of A. So if Rain steps forward here, there's going to be a nasty surprise waiting on the other side. Elise still alone in middle here.
Rain's position is a good bait for Frozen. If they don't know where Frozen is, they might tunnel vision on that position instead, and opens up Rain for a potential multi-kill. But he does have a player above him, does Frozen.
Yeah, that's the third smoke that's landing at the stairs, by the way. So if I'm Aurora, I'm definitely wondering why are they so insistent on that. More CTs are actually starting to get here. They're doubling and tripling down on this kind of aggression. Santara is hoping for the opening, but he's going to get killed. And now the trades aren't going to be set up. Like you said, it was Rain on the one side, Elige pushing on the other. Bomb, though, is going to make its way towards this B side. Caught in the air. Simple. Really reliable with these AWP shots at the moment. Jota's still trying to creep on in, but he walks straight into Elige, who's supposed to be in middle, right? That's his normal position. So probably a bit of a surprise for Jota to find him in that one. And Woxic, 1 versus 4, and with 20 seconds, cannot be won. So Faze, oh man, if they could get 4. If they can get 4, Dan. We're back on the copium.
Yes. This was another great round from FaZe, but it's a round where they were able to close it, and I love that you have the finishing touch, because it's been that second stage reaction of Aurora after they get the disadvantage. What is the next thing they do? That's when Aurora have then won the round both times. But in this particular case, there's the setup for FaZe, because, hey, you're going to run into Simple. We're forcing you to run into Simple's AWP, and that is the absolute counter. As we can see the connection here with that just iconic, flicky, jittery aim.
I know. If you strip the hut, you'd still know who was playing somehow. You can just tell. Timeout being called here. Aurora, even though they're winning a lot, I think it's reasonable to take this kind of a timeout, because as much as we do, they definitely also know that if it turns into an 8-4, then there's every opportunity for FaZe to get back. All they have to do is win the pistol in the second half, and we're good to go.
Absolutely, and I think it's interesting too, Anders, because I don't feel like we're seeing, FaZe, play badly, for example. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that's working, and we're seeing them problem solving on the fly, and we just got to see them win a round off of some of that problem solving, and they had to take some big risks. That mid aggression is very risky to do, but they executed it very well.
I agree. I don't think FaZe are playing badly right now, but they're also up against the fact that it's a 16-3 Centaurus that shows up, so you have to factor that in. He's hitting some crazy shots at the moment. A nice grenade that gets dunked from inside of the E-bomb side. Yeah, Woxic, you're right. Investigation.
13 health, Anders.
Yeah, he's not enjoying life at the moment. Classic grenades as well. But is it enough to set them up for a bit of a victory is the question. 3 people at the B-bomb side.
Yeah, we have a new position for Simple again. He's moving around constantly with the AWP, which is... That's one of the most dangerous things to be up against on the T side. You never know where the AWP is, and that changes fundamentally how you're supposed to clear those positions. So we'll see if they work that one out. It looks like they want a B split here. If we're just looking at the positions on the minimap, that's what Aurora are gunning for, and the B side does look vulnerable.
Really does. Pretty good counter utility from Carrigan. It just slows it down. It means Elige can go in from middle and be a bit closer. That's what that grenade basically did. We're down to 45 seconds, and Elige is kind of, taking a step in the right direction here. 40 seconds. It looks like Aurora want to hit this B-bomb site once again. They've been having such great success over here that I can't really blame them. Why not try and see if you can crack it open one more time? 30 seconds. They catch him running out of the Molotov. Carrigan getting the one in return, but a wild spray from Ricardia. They catch Rain. That's way on the other side. He was trying to exit the A-bomb site, but Frozen low on health here. In round number 11, it just doesn't seem that doable on the retake. He's so low on health already. I feel like you need these rifles.
Yeah, they really do. Hearing they're running away, might be a chance for Frozen. He's going to close the distance. He has managed to sneak quite deep here. Finds one player. They had no idea he's in this position. He's forcing he's going to force him out of position. They have to run it down. He's going for the stick. 0.7 seconds for Frozen. You have to respect the attempt. That was so close.
Oh, if Simple would have had anything, a flash, a smoke, anything to try and distract them. You're right, 0.7 seconds. It's such a great idea, but it doesn't work. 9 rounds now for Aurora. For their T side, this is great work.
It really is. This B side is a consistent problem for FaZe. It really is. You know, teams have different solutions as to how they deal with it, but the problem is there's trade-offs. If you try to invest in either being aggressive on B, well, that's risky, because if you end up dying with the B main aggression, well, then you're just starting off from a huge disadvantage. If you play heavy E-box, you're leaving like mid and A open as well to those A defaults. So there's just there's not a perfect solution.
Bit of mid-aggression, Carrigan, oh, look at him charging through. This is something new. I think it's one of the things that makes Carrigan such a fun player. He'll do this sometimes. Woxic loses the battle to Simple, and they are walking up behind him. He's got to be careful here. He's almost visible from the mid push. Aurora were right behind him. But they're checking middle, and they're saying, there's nobody here in middle at all. So Carrigan just needs 1 kill right now, and he's isolating them. But having a hard time finding Wakadia. Oh, he does win the fight. Wakadia comes back out and takes him down. But they've got rid of Centaurus. It's still worth it.
And it resets the round now here for both teams. Oh, that labored spray that catches Rain, that could make the difference now. You've got Aurora working on an A split, going up the mid position with the bomb. Simple is going to be trying to make his way to find this, but it is a hard position for Simple. He won't have any support here, but he does have the AWP, and it might be perfect there. Another connection from Simple. His accuracy on the AWP this game has been very, very good. Barely misses the timing there. I need to be careful. They might be looking to try to push this.
Yeah, they want to see if they could do something.
That's the bomb there too, Anders.
Yeah, you're right. And isolated. Range 1 and 11, Dan.
What does Maja do here? I mean, we've got a push coming around from Wikadi, 16 HP into the B site, but that doesn't in of itself guarantee the entry for Maja.
No, it doesn't. Frozen. Hiding up on this plateau. Again, this should be a really strong position. They don't have any Molotovs to get rid of him here. They try to make the cross, but he gets shot in the face. How? Simple. Out-dueled by Wakadia, who's now working on an ace to try and steal this round away from FaZe. It doesn't seem fair, does it? Elige, he's getting real close now, walking up, and he's going to get this. But oh, he won't. Maja somehow lives through it. It's another stolen round in favor of Aurora at the end of the half.
Welcome to Roles and Responsibilities. I'm here with Lucky from 3D Max, and we're talking about his role inside of the team. Lucky, how would you describe your role?
In our team, it's a bit special, depending on the maps that we play. On Newcon City, I'm going to be like the outside player, like a rifler, having like important role in the decisions. You're not going to have the same voice on like Anubis T side.
Giving information, letting your in-game leader build a picture of the round.
Yeah.
Looking at CT sides though, 3D Max are quite a unique team. You guys do a lot of mid-round grouping and pushing for information and clearing parts of the map. Are you often in the pack when you do that?
Most of the time I will be in the pack, I would say. I'll be the big guy. Sometimes I'll go back to clear middle with the other people. That's like a pretty common play now. We see it a lot. What
would you say is your favorite map to play in this role?
I enjoy Inferno a lot. I mean, we've been like a pretty good team on it. I like the fact that I'm really like active. A lot of calls, a lot of adaptations.
You're calling utility, I presume, on your team. What's the most challenging map or position you play?
I had some issues on like just to city, because now I'm playing like anchor on B. It's really hard to play. Like if you do one small mistake, you're going to lose the round.
A lot of pressure. What kind of players do you watch demos of and learn from?
Vitality, they're like really good on the tactical side. Like everything they do is really smooth. Obviously players like Nico, he has a lot of positions that I play to. Donk sometimes, but a lot of the plays he makes is the only one that can make them, you know.
What attributes are important to play your role?
You have to be really vocal, be willing to like work with players around you. And I think you have to be really flexible too. Sometimes you're going to be a support, sometimes you're going to be making aggressive plays. A pretty complete player, you know.
How do you stay unpredictable?
You have to be aware of how like the other team is going to perceive you, so you can use that. Go on the other part of the map and help like your teams.
Your in-game leader is Maka. He's also an AWP in-game leader. It's kind of a dying breed. What do you make of playing with him?
Right now the meta is like the in-game leader is someone that's like selfless, that's going to go first. Maka, he can do it like sometimes, but when he has the AWP in his hands, he's not going to be the one that's going to do that. So we have to adapt. we have to play good and hopefully make it through like as cleanly as possible.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much for your time and best of luck.
Second half is coming your way. It's Faze with some frustration in the first half. They had so many opportunities to break kills from Simple in a round that they still end up losing. And that was true for a lot of it here. You could see Wakadia getting it, and yeah, definitely looking like it's getting to him at this stage. And who could blame him, Dan? I mean, this should have been a different half. They should have had so many more rounds.
Yeah, and I think, Simple, especially in that particular fight that he loses there, he's trying to take the extra split second because he was kind of caught moving to make sure that he can actually take the shot cleanly. Because if you watch him the entire game, he's missed basically no shots pretty much, and he's been super focused and dialed in. He obviously, I mean, as all of these players do, cares so much about this. So it's very frustrating for FaZe to be in this position. I think they could easily, especially after that clutch from Frozen that we saw, that 1v3 with the FAMAS, FaZe could definitely be in a world where they have 5 or 6 rounds here.
I agree.
And they had very good openings, but they just could never seem to close.
There's rain on that 1-11 scoreline, anchoring that A bomb site for a lot of it. But one of the issues is you have to play somewhat proactively as well on the A side. So you have to try and help out, and they did this a lot. I think it was one of the great gameplays that they were coming in with FaZe, with some of the aggression pushing towards Aurora, and it very nearly worked a bunch of rounds, but just wasn't enough. On top of that, they really couldn't hold the B bomb site, even when they had players there and there was low time and everything. It's just hard to explain. There were so many ridiculous rounds in the first half that FaZe should have won. That's really the end of it. Now, the pistol coming into the second half here, if FaZe can win it, then it's still a winnable game. They have not lost the map yet, but if they lose that, I just don't think there's a path back into it. So here we go. Second half is coming up. We're going to have Aurora now on the CT side, FaZe on the T side, and we're seeing some utility picked up here, so maybe they can find a way to get a bit of an execute. They will start out just testing the waters here. They're making sure no one's pushing outside of B, maybe keeping an eye on middle as well.
Yeah, this A side does look very doable for FaZe, just due to the only 2 players who are currently defending it. But FaZe, they're waiting to see if there's a play. Oftentimes the CTs will try to make a play, especially on the side that they're more stacked on, so they can get players into position if they're wrong. So Manager playing anti-flash there towards the long position. Also able to therefore spot at the same time into the mid position. Yeah,
so if it's a split, he wants to smoke off the one side so they can focus on main. But it's not going to be a split. Instead, he'll throw it down. That's actually pretty good. Still a minute on the clock here, so FaZe don't have any immediate pressure to run through that smoke. If it was 20 seconds, they probably just do it no matter what. And now they're going to retreat. That was the utility except for the flashbang on Woxic here, so pretty good job from FaZe, to be honest. They should be able to defeat Santaris. Dualies are good, yes, but just with so many swinging Glocks, we'll see. They take care of Johnson. Oh, Santaris lining them up. He's going to get 2, and then 3 onto Rain. Simple finally shuts it down, and Frozen paves the way for a bomb plant by getting the headshot onto Wakadia. Santaris with 20-6 starting into the second half. That is beastly.
Glorious P250 shot from Frozen, though. However, the late timing from Madja coming from B main, that's really, I think, what Woxic has to try to play for here. He's just occupying the attention of the remaining players, but actually connects an unbelievable shot. Now down to Frozen again into a clutch. Frozen, can he do it again here? The P250. And now he's going to have to come out here. He's going to be forced to move out. Can he find this first player that's just occupying his attention as much as possible, being so annoying? Goes for the defuser. Can't get it connected. Oh my goodness, but actually he came off of it. Oh my god, Madja! He doesn't have time, that's unreal! What is that?
A miracle from God.
Yes, it was.
The character saying thank you. Oh my god.
Okay.
A gift from the heavens.
Is it possible, if we see the replay of his defuse, like holding down the button, is there like a flash of light that pushes him off it? He would have had it every single time. He had 1 health left. That shot, oh, he comes up. There's no way.
What is that?
Unbelievable scenes.
That is such a gift.
We said FaZe like to take the hardest path possible. Now they are going to try to see if they can recover this game with a bit of divine intervention. Round number 14. And they have forced up into this one. Aurora, they really want to shut down FaZe before anything crazy happens, which is always bound to be the case. Wakadia, he goes down at the start here, jumped on by Carrigan in the MAC-10, and the pressure is on. I see that early player, and they will throw some deep utility here to just keep it going. Bomb is really far back. They're not committed to this at all, so they're just putting the pressure on here.
Yeah, you can't throw away a gift like that. You got to convert. And if Aurora end up losing this game, I mean, it's just, you're going to look back at that moment. Insane. But FaZe pausing in this mid position right now, definitely set up for a very strong A split. And you can see Aurora are looking at this reset, and they're gambling towards a B that FaZe might be going to. But we can see FaZe, they're picking this A site. It's definitely a great choice. A nice entry there from Elige. That makes it all the easier.
It would be probably the most FaZe way that you could get back into a game. I'm just saying.
Yes.
There's always something going on. I think, if nothing else, they deserve to play some more rounds just so that Rain can actually do, something more here. I'm not even sure if I saw Rain make a ton of mistakes. I just feel like that position just, it got punished whenever they were trying to be aggressive, and, ended up, trying to do a lot by pushing out to help the B bomb site, but got caught a couple of times there too. Everything else being saved, it's going to be a 10-4 scoreline.
Yeah, definitely very scary, I think, whenever the CTs can carry anything into the next round on a map like this.
Terrorists win.
And the CT side, it is very challenging. So I'm just curious how good FaZe's T side will look in the first place here. I think it's hard to know what to expect from them, just in general.
I think it'll look pretty good. Like, they have a lot to work with. I think especially with short in this round, but in general, I would say their mid pressure is really nice, and they have such a good understanding of how to make life uncomfortable. Also because they have somebody like Carrigan, who is just an elusive player to be up against. And if you're on the CT side, you always have to worry, what if Carrigan's knocked through one of those smokes? Either towards the back, B hallways there towards CT spawn, or the other way. Like, it's just very annoying. So they definitely have that. We'll see if they can build, even more beyond that. But I think this mid portion of the map is going to be fought for a lot by FaZe.
All right, we're about to find out. Obviously, FaZe are up against just the leftovers of the previous buy from Aurora.
Yeah.
Got a Deagle, a couple MP, well, 2 Deagles and 2 MP9s. So should be okay to deal with. No utility except a single flash as well for Aurora. So they might be trying to make a play around that. Potentially. They are thinking about this mid right now, looking to opt to defend this. And this is a position I've seen so many kills from these MP9s from, so that FaZe have to be very cautious in that spot.
I mean, that was really close, wasn't it? Elige put down the 13. Molotov, I think, burned a little bit, so they kind of are aware that someone is still pretty close to the walls, or at least was. Carrigan not going to shy away, even in spite of the fact that they run into a bit of resistance. They will really go and check this, and yeah, I think it's a core part of what they like to do. Just open up a lot of other opportunities. Molotov onto Madja will push him a bit further back here. Wakadia goes down. The timing was really good. I did like the D flashbang. It's a nice idea for Aurora to set up that peak in the middle. Looking like another A split is coming in. Rain looking to make an entry towards Madja, who's now his back turned here. Yeah, it's very hard to hold this. Running and gunning, though. He's actually, oh my god, it's the last bullet as well. How is that a headshot? I cannot believe it. Rain and Elige, 2 versus 2. 30 seconds left if they give this round back. That would be unforgivable. Shot from Centaurus that doesn't connect, but Jota, he's creeping up behind him. He's got one more MP9 catching Elige mid-air, and Rain in full-on panic. He's going to get the first spray down here, but there's only 18 seconds left, and Centaurus, one bullet would do it. He can't find it. Instead, it's a clutch for the Norwegian cowboy.
Oh my god, that is the stress. The stress of that round. The MP9 is, honestly, it should truly be outlawed. This weapon is unbelievable.
What is a 1 in a million situation? It is the last bullet.
Oh my god.
Spray while he's moving.
Oh my god.
Oh, Centaurus.
It's actually so crazy that Centaurus is also forcing the issue there. But either way, that's another gift for FaZe, being able to get back into that one. 5 to 10, if they're going to do it, it's the hardest possible way. Now, Orps online for both sides. Woxic taking that A-long line, and Simple, the E-box line there as well outside A.
So Aurora have thrown all the utility that would suggest that normally Woxic is going to be orbiting from that position. I said it in the first half, but the correlation between that stairs smoke on A and even the mid smoke here for Aurora, they've thrown all the utility that you would normally throw if Woxic was orping B bomb side. And instead now, because he's at the front of the A bomb side, I mean, that could be part of the plan here for Aurora, is to say, let's really sell this idea early on. And then, in fact, he's on the other side of the map. No one's biting, though. So FaZe, definitely, whatever they're reading in the map right now, they're not committed to going in quick towards that A side.
Yeah, they re-smoke there defensively for the hold of the box, and we've got FaZe now who are looking to potentially test this, and even just taking this position without committing to the B side. It is, the threat levels are massive for the CTs, and they often have to respect it because B is so vulnerable. So now E-box is being taken. How far does Carrigan want to go with this one? So he's just making a lot of noise here. At the same time, his teammates are pushing along, looking to potentially catch someone, but this is indeed where Woxic has been set up, and he's gonna whiff. Beautiful, edging onto the angle, forcing the shot, but Woxic picks up the second, close range onto Rain, and now with the bomb down on the ground, it's a great shot from Simple, and he's going to have to clutch it now. On the site, he's got some assistance, but there's 2 players for the trade. Make that 3, and make that a round for Aurora, 11 to 5.
Yeah, oh, if they could have punished Woxic there at the start. They had the opportunity. You're right, he whiffed that first shot, and they wanted to put the pressure on, but it just took a second too long, and he's able to turn it around. Bit of a tech timeout here. Just to maybe follow up, because Carrigan, you're right, he was pushing that dark position, the connector. This is, I would say, the other strength that FaZe have on this map that they're pretty good on. Apart from the mid stuff that I was talking about earlier, they also do this thing a lot where they control front of A and connector at the same time. And because the rotation time for the Ts is so much shorter than it is for the CTs, if you control both those positions, you can essentially do both A and B fakes with some success. So I think that's probably something that we're going to be seeing. They're pretty good at doing these sort of half A executes phase, and then they fall back through the river and into the B bomb site, and it's just hard to catch them there. Simple, unfortunately, yeah, just jumped on Wacardius. That's action-packed.
That is quite the play. Aurora looking really good at the moment on the individual form. But, I mean, this is an opportunity for FaZe. Of course, they lose a round, but the silver lining is it can often be, if the CT economy is weak enough, that they are then susceptible to getting completely reset, because Aurora will have to spend all of their money pretty much in this round, and they will be in a situation where they can't properly rebuy if they lose it. So that gives FaZe, if they win this one, a chance back into the Anubis. But if they lose it, I mean, it's looking all over from there.
Yeah, this is another, you're right, this is another pivotal round that could decide the rest of the half in a big way. 11-5, Aurora, they do have 2 AKs, they got the AWP on Woxic. He's not been the most impactful player, not yet anyway, but he's definitely recovered a lot of his form in general. Look at this push. Carrigan trying to do the same in the first half, but they get caught falling back from that. Wacardius down. Jota already dinked up a little bit and low on health. He's going to go down. It's a team kill.
After the fact.
Yeah, you're right. But probably if you look at the replay, there's almost no way to avoid it, I'm assuming. Bomb going to be run for the smoke, and they set up even more grenades. Good work here. Going to be planted. Frozen. Doesn't care too much. Another deep nade. Oh, and a shot with a wall bang. No way.
That's outrageous, and that was the bomb planter. That's going to waste so much time, and it sets up this push in from the back from Madja to take down the planter, and it is a 1v3 here for Elige. He has to take down everyone by himself. Okay, knows there's a player B. He's trying to find the finish. Oh my goodness, he makes it. A good try, but it's simply too much, overwhelming. Xantares gets the defuse, and that's the 12th round.
Oh, you wanted to believe Elige is known for the mechanics. You could see it coming, but he just had no time to react. Xantares picking it in, but what a disgusting way to get the kill on Frozen. The first HE, who cares? The second one, okay, it's a bit uncomfortable, but that's it. But then they set it up afterwards with the wallbang shot. If I'm Frozen, I am snapping my keyboard over my knee at that point in time. That is frustrating.
Oh, Elige is so close. If he gets half a more second, he can likely win that one. 12-5 though, they at least got the bomb planted. That does give them a bit of a boost on that economy to have just a little extra util. 2 Galils. It's not looking good here for FaZe.
No smoke in the middle, and like I said, it's such a big indication that the orb is here. And I think that's why FaZe are a little bit more careful now. They flash their way through, Repeak is coming in, and the flick does not quite connect. But good work for FaZe to understand what was ahead. Do they have a Molotov for this one? They should be able to just put some more pressure on Woxic. Don't really want to be facing him without any utility, and they don't.
They do force him back a bit, but he does actually get another look into mid very quickly to re-clear it. So realizes that he can now move more safely to another position. Vox gets challenged. It's a great challenge from Carrigan. Finds a fantastic timing, and he gets out. Reaction from Arcadia.
Yeah, you're right. He's walking into the smoke. It's just now fading. It is being held. Simple is ready with the Galil, but it's not enough. Arcadia still takes him down. Jota picking up one more kill. It's coming undone here for FaZe. They're bleeding players on that T side and also running out of bullets there. Elige has to reload, and he heard it. Xantares knew. He could hear the reload in action. Rain and Frozen, 2 versus 4 in the middle, and Arcadia just jiggling this position. Timing is everything. He's going to get the headshot and very nearly drops Frozen as well, who now finds himself in a very bad position. Makes the jump across here, and Xantares on the other side. Another multi-kill. Aurora on their whole map, destroying FaZe.
Lots there for FaZe, but not enough close, and they'll be very frustrated with this one. Anubis, it is treacherous. I think that is such a perfect word that you've used to describe it time and again, and it's gonna punish FaZe massively here.
And this whole map is just one big what-if question. There are so many, I think maybe 8 or more rounds that you could look back on and say, that's a winnable round for FaZe. They have that, the whole game is different. What a shame. But ultimately, fantastic work out of the Turkish side, and a map where Xantares just shows up. That's what I want every single time, because he is obviously one of the most mechanically gifted players in the space, and when he shows up like that, they can't stop him, and that's just beautiful to watch. It really is.
And a part of me thinks that you're going to see that from Xantares, especially against a team like FaZe, because there's so many big names on the other end of the server.